Hello everybody. I want to share with you today one of my memories of my worst game purchase. This was back in the early 90s. I was probably a teenager. If not, I was like 12. But either way, I was at the mall with my parents, and I had some, I don't know if it was birthday money or some just allowance I'd saved up. But I was looking in the toy store, and of course I was looking at video games. And at the time there was Nintendo Power and there was EGM, I think, but there really wasn't a very easy way to find out what games were good and what ones weren't. So a lot of times it just went on either going by what your friends told you, or as sad as it sounds, just how the art looked on the box cover. So I was in the toy store looking around, and I saw this game that I just had to have. And the reason I had to have it was because it was Double Dragon 3. And I loved Double Dragon in the arcades. That was definitely one of my favorite games. I could beat it almost all the way through on a quarter, so obviously Double Dragon 3 for the NES, it had to be a good game. That was my logic at the time. So I saw the game, my mom was like, well, you know, that's $50, that's all your money. Let's just look around and see what else we find. So we went around and we looked at one of the pet shops in the mall. Now, I'm not a fan at all, now that I'm grown up, of pet shops, just because there's so many animals out there that need a home that are available for adoption for free. You definitely should not be supporting pet shops. But at the time, I didn't know any better, so we were looking through the pet store, and there's this white rabbit. My mom's like, never had a rabbit before. We've always had dogs. I know you love animals, so do you want this bunny instead of that game? Because the bunny was like 20 bucks, and by the time you bought the cage, it ended up being 50 bucks. And I could tell my mom was really trying to push me towards that, but how could that compete with Double Dragon 3, with what must be like the most awesome experience ever, because Double Dragon 1 was so good and Double Dragon 2 in the arcades was pretty good, so 3's just got to be great. So I tell my mom, no, I don't want the rabbit. I want Double Dragon 3. So went home. Obviously I got the game, went home, played it. And that was by far one of the worst games I've ever played. At the time, I was really good at video games because I was just a scrubby teenager, and that's all I did was play video games. So, I was good at them, but I could not get past about level 2 or 3 in this game. I even figured out, you could do 2 players at once and then kind of steal the lives from the second player. But it was an awful game, and it was very obviously just a cash grab on the license name to get gullible kids like myself to buy it. So I played the game, and I knew that night that was without a doubt a horrible decision I had made. And you couldn't take games back at the time, not that you can now either, but I was stuck with this game. There was really no easy way to get rid of it unless you wanted to do like a classified ad or something, because that's just how old I am. They didn't have any other way to sell games back then. But to this day, it still haunts me that poor little white rabbit could have been part of my family. I'm sure it would have been the most awesome rabbit ever, and being the stupid kid I was, I passed it up for Double Dragon 3, and I regret that very much. The good thing is, I have rabbits now, and I've got 2 white rabbits, so at least 2 bunnies got a home out of it.